You're listening to the Epically Geeky Show, a place for all things geeky.
Welcome back to the Epically Geeky Show, episode number 25. I am your host for the evening, Eugene Stevens. Tonight's opening question, it's summertime, so why not ask hot dogs or burgers, Cyrus Martin?
Oh, definitely burgers. Absolutely burgers.
Any particular reason?
They're hamburgers.
Enough said, sir.
Yeah.
Jay, burgers or dogs?
Burgers. There's just usually more to them, and there's so much more you can do to them.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Ooh.
Lainey, burgers or dogs?
Burgers, because hot dogs aren't meant for human consumption.
Nope, I don't agree with that, but, okay, yeah.
I hate hot dogs.
You're not the only person. I know several people who are just like, nope, can't do it.
Nope.
Chris.
The ones I figured out what was in them, I'm out.
And that's exactly it. Chris, where do you fall on this?
Burgers.
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 Yeah, I'll make it a clean sweep. Definitely burgers. Just real quick, when I was a little bitty boy, I would just tells you what time I grew up. You could actually you weren't strapped in as a kid in the back seat. You could stand up and turn around or whatever. And I'm traveling with my mother and my grandmother, and my grandmother looks back and says, "Eugene, baby, what are you looking at?" And I just looked down and went, "Donald's Burger, hungry." And she's like, "You gotta turn around and get that baby something to eat. He's hungry." So yeah, I've loved burgers all my life. That's like the perfect food for me.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah. As for the hot dog thing, Christy can do hot dogs sometimes, but after a while she usually gets kind of burned out on them. Rudy really does not eat hot dogs because of that episode of The Simpsons where they were talking about what they're made out of, and even though they went to an extreme, it was enough to just, he's like, nope, can't do it, I'm out. So, when they show it was part of a raccoon, part of a rat, part of an old shoe, and something else that went together to make the hot dog, it was just like, nope, can't do that anymore.
But it's still good.
Exactly.
I get the Nathans. They're all beef and all good.
Yeah. What is that? A Hebrew National. Those are good.
No, those are good. So.
Nope, I don't care.
Why? You anti-Semitic? What?
I'm not gonna do it.
But
Fucking Nazi.
Going back to the burger thing, I mean, there are so many more things you can do with burger. I mean, like Sonic and stuff is, they've actually expanded. They're not just doing chili cheese dog. They've got some other ones on there. And freaking, Burger King is offering hot dogs now, which to me, I mean, I guess kind of makes sense, but I don't know.
Who the hell goes to Burger King and gets a hot dog?
Thank you. Exactly.
I don't care I don't care how good the hot dog is. It's fucking Burger King.
Exactly. I agree 110%, Si.
I'd be like if I walked into Pizza Hut and they go like, "Hey, we're offering sandwiches." I'd be like, "Yeah, your name is Pizza Hut."
They do have sandwiches.
Actually, they do, and I've heard they're pretty good.
Yeah, they are actually really good.
Okay, but what?
But no, I understand. That's yes, exactly. So.
Who's actually bought a sandwich from Pizza Hut?
Me.
You have?
I have.
Yeah.
Why?
Because it was good.
On the menu, and I could order it and have it delivered to my house, so my hungover ass didn't have to get out of bed.
Besides, it's kind of like a pizza sandwich, so it's like a combination of two things.
Well, see, that's different. You ordered it online, whatever. I'm talking about you go specifically to Pizza Hut. Like, why are you at Pizza Hut? For a sandwich? No.
Why are you at a Pizza Hut in general? Why aren't you having it delivered?
Buffet? Question mark?
Does that still a thing?
I know some of them still have it. Not all of them, I don't think.
Weird.
All right. Well, now that we've gone down this rabbit hole, I'm sorry, this was supposed to be the opening question, and it's becoming the whole topic for the evening. Our actual topic for the evening is tomorrow, actually, here in about an hour and a half, at least where I'm currently sitting, it will be Father's Day. And we've already done a Mother's Day episode where we talked about the best and worst TV/movie/book/whatever moms. So it's Dad's turn. So we're gonna do a countdown of the best and worst TV, movie / whatever dads. We'll go ahead and start off with the good list. And does anyone want to start off?
I'll start.
All right, Lainey. Who's number one on your best TV/movie/whatever dads?
My number one on my best dads list is somebody I would want to be my father,
Okay.
and that would be Tim the Toolman Taylor from Home
Oh.
Improvement.
Number two on my list.
He is perfect and wonderful.
Yep.
He is kind of clueless, but in a really cute way. Definitely a big family man, good provider. And when he doesn't know the answer to something, he's not too ridiculous to go ask his neighbor Wilson, and I appreciate that about him.
Yep. Jill did not make it on my best moms list.
And she should have.
She is a good mom, but he was a great dad. I'm like
He's a
you.
great
He is a character that I would have loved to have had as a dad.
He's just so cute. Like he cracks me up with his dumb sayings, and he's always getting rushed off to the emergency room, and he's just awesome. I love it.
Yep, he was number two on my list. So, tell you what, I'll go ahead and jump in here next. My number one on my list, of course, it's not in any particular order, but the first person I always think of when I think of great TV dads, the first one that always jumps into my head is actually married to the first person that jumps into my head for the greatest TV moms, and that is Cliff Huxtable.
Yeah.
That aside
Great TV dad.
from everything that's going on, unfortunately, with Bill Cosby, that aside, he was a great TV dad. One of my favorite scenes, and I want to say it may have actually been like the pilot episode. I know it was like one of the very first seasons of that show. Is he goes into Theo's room, and Theo gives this long, drawn-out speech about you should love me for who I am and expect me, take me as I am or whatever instead of what you expect me to be or whatever. And he just looks at him and he goes, Theo, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. You are afraid to use your brain because you think it's going to melt and ooze out of your ear.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite was when Vanessa says something about how, well, we're rich, and he looks at her and he goes, no, your mother and I are rich. You have nothing.
Yes, shit like that I absolutely loved.
Oh, God.
Probably my favorite episode of that series was the one where Theo had to go into the quote-unquote real world and came back home and
oh my
they were
God,
charging money and stuff. I love that episode to this day. That was such a great episode.
When Rudy was the owner of the bank.
Yes, that was
so
great.
good.
But yeah, so when like I said, on the previous episode, Claire Huxtable to me has always been like the epitome of great TV mom or whatever, and he's always been the epitome to me of great TV dad. So, Chris, who's a great TV dad on your list?
One of my favorite TV moms was Morticia Addams, so Gomez Addams is one of my favorite dads.
I figured he was going to be on your list.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's on mine too. He's wonderful.
Well, and I love his and Morticia's relationship. I love because that's how it's supposed to go. You're supposed to put your marriage first and then be a parent, and that's what they do. And they're totally in love, and then it's like, oh yeah, there are children. We should probably tend to them, but they love each other very much.
Well, and I like that they encourage their kids' weirdness.
Yes.
Both of them together. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a good TV dad. I agree with that about
Such a good
encouraging your kids to be who they are and
Just let their freak flag fly. That's awesome.
Hell yeah! But I agree with you, Chris, about the whole thing about you have to, because I've always told Christy, I'm like, look, we'll get tired and frustrated with stuff that's going on, and we'll snip at each other, and I'm like, look, we have to stay on the same team. It's us versus them. It's us versus the kids. We have to stay united because they will take us out.
This is a war.
Yeah, well, after they leave, it's just the two of you.
Exactly.
If you spend all of your time on them and not on your relationship, then you're kind of just looking at each other like, who the fuck are you?
Yep.
Yeah,
I
and
can agree with that.
imagine how awesome it was for Gomez and Morticia when, Wednesday went off to, I'm sure she went off to become a psychiatrist. I'm just sure of it. For like murderers and like sociopaths, you know, and Pugsley, you know, probably got hauled off to the state pen. But you know what I mean? Like, imagine how wonderful it was for the two of them after they both left the house.
Yeah, oh my God, there's got to be some fan fiction out there somewhere where this has happened. So
I want to find it.
That may have to be a future episode. Cy, who is a great TV dad on your list?
Well, I would like to probably go, let's see, for my first selection, Sparkplug from Transformers.
Nice pull.
It's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, he was a hard-working guy, you know. He's teaching his kids how to work hard and to make good decisions and right from wrong. And obviously they were taught not to be racist or anything because they accepted the Transformers, you know, into their fold. And, just a decent guy. Just a decent guy.
Wow,
know?
that is a really good pull. Like, that didn't even cross my mind. That's awesome, dude.
Well, you know.
I like that one.
Oh, that's
that was
a good
one.
Actually, I just added someone else to my list just because you made me think of something. So, thank you. Good pull, sir. Jay, who's a great dad on your list? Jay? I guess Jay is still silent. Okay, so
No, I'm here.
Oh.
Okay.
It was fucking up. Wouldn't let me unmute it. I actually picked Dan Connor from Roseanne.
Dan Connor is a great dad.
Because he was a hard ass with the kids, trying to keep them in line, but he always encouraged them, always showed them love, and he worked his ass off to make sure they had what they had. So.
Yep. Agreed.
Okay, y'all know I don't like Rose. Cyrus, what the hell are you doing, dude?
Yeah, what are you doing, Cyrus?
I don't know. It's something weird going on. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, y'all know I do not care for Roseanne, both in real life and her character on the show. But yes, he was a good dad. If nothing else, for the fact that he tolerated her ass. But
I know all the seasons where like he was killed off on the show were kind of dumb. I didn't like it.
Well, I think he voted for that because he didn't want to deal with her anymore.
Probably.
Yeah, I would agree.
But going through our list, I've never watched a full episode of The Cosbys.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
I used to watch that every Saturday.
Or Addams Family.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I just didn't like them.
I
Didn't care
loved
for 'em.
Addams Family.
I loved Bill Cosby's, actual comedy.
Oh, yes. Himself is still one of the best stand-up comedy routines ever.
But I didn't like the show.
Well, that's fair enough.
I tried to watch it, and I guess I couldn't do it.
All right, Lainey, who's another one on your list?
So another one on my list is Phil Dunphy. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Phil Dunphy from Modern Family.
My list.
For sure, because he's just fantastic. He's so goofy and like just a total weirdo, but he loves his kids, and I love like the dynamic between him and Luke, especially in the early seasons.
Yeah.
Like the episode where they all go to Disneyland together is one of my favorites, just because like he is so gung ho to like ride all the roller coasters, and it actually reminds me a lot of my dad. So, because he was always like that, he liked to go and do fun stuff and be a goofball and all that kind of cool stuff. So I love Phil Dunphy. I like to watch the way that like the dynamic between him and his kids kind of changes as the kids get older on the show, and I love the relationship between him and Claire. He's just a great TV dad, like all over. And I like to watch him and his dad on the show.
Oh my God, yes. Absolutely.
So good.
Yeah, he was actually the number 3 on my list as well. Actually, my number 3 was 2 different dads because they're on the same show. Because I also had to include Jay Pritchett.
Jay Pritchett's a good dad.
The reason why I put him on there is, one of his kids is the other son being gay, and he's supposed to be an older guy, but the fact that he's come to terms with it and accepts it, and
he's not a static character. mature, and that's what I like that about him. You can tell that like over the years he's really like tried his hardest to understand, and just loves his son, like loves both of his kids no matter what, and even like watching him deal with his ex-wife on the show is really cool. So I love it, and I love Gloria too.
Oh yes, but yeah, as for Phil, what you were saying about him, the dynamic with his kids, and the fact that he really wants to try to do family stuff or whatever. I kind of ran into something like that earlier this week. I was hoping to show my boy Star Wars.
Oh yeah, this was fun.
I went through. I mean, I did. Lainey was here. She knows. Like I put like styrofoam over the windows to try to get it really dark in here because at the time we were watching it, like normally there's like a laser beam freaking coming in the windows because of the sun, and I popped popcorn and I played it up that this is a really big event or whatever. We only got about halfway through the movie, maybe actually closer to a third of the way through the movie by the time they started kind of getting up and going around.
Not nearly enough Han Solo.
They're just not. They still live action stuff just does not interest them that much right now. So it may be one of those things that they need to just be a little bit older. And I'll be honest, I was kind of crestfallen that they, didn't really immediately take to it. But I'm like, okay, well, we'll just have to regroup and try again because damn it, they're gonna watch Star Wars. It's going to happen. It's just getting to that point. So, Chris, who is next on your list?
Ron Swanson from Parks.
Yes.
He just loves his kid, and I just like his views on government and how protective he is, and he wouldn't even tell anybody when the baby was born or even what his middle name was. Yeah.
I completely forgot about that. That is an awesome tool.
Walks in and the kid's just in there.
Yeah, like she was all excited. She was going to have this big shower for them, and she was all planning and stuff, and she walks in, and the baby's already 3 weeks old, and yeah.
She starts panicking, like she didn't receive a gift from me, Ron. I love it.
Yeah.
So good. Oh, I love it.
I just love that show completely. That is a great tool.
It is. Oh, thank you.
Oh, Ron.
Yeah.
Cyrus, what's next on your list?
I was thinking, see, there's dads and then there's like father figures,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I wanted to say Philip Banks from The Fresh Prince.
He's a great TV dad.
No, that counts because now here's the thing. Yes, we said dads, but father figures count as well because
He's a dad though. Carlton and Hillary, those are all his kids. And Ashley, yeah.
But he also took Will on as he treated him as one of his kids.
Mm-hmm.
They aren't really his kids; they're actors. But yeah, I understand.
Thanks, I.
They're just trying to help out.
Dummy. Oh my god.
And The Fresh Prince is actually not a prince.
Really?
Oh well, thank you for
now,
that.
Is Bel Air a real place?
Only on TV.
Okay. No, I would say no. He definitely counts.
He counts for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Jay, who's next on your list?
I can't fucking remember. God damn it.
So you have it written down.
All right, so.
Yeah, should've done your fucking homework.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah. Where's your spreadsheet, you dick?
Yeah, asshole.
I ain't
Really?
G
Okay,
yet.
stop. Killing me. Come on.
Al Bundy.
Yeah, but
Damn it, he was actually next on my list.
well, so what?
I mean, because he pretty much falls in the same line as Dan. He's a smart ass. He jokes around with his kids, gives them a real hard time, but when it came down to it, how many times did he beat somebody's ass for, doing something to his daughter?
Okay.
And that is a sign of a good father. I mean.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, he's super protective of his kids no matter, he allows himself to joke with them, but anybody else, and then that's kind of crossing the line.
The reason why I put him on my good list is because I still think Peg Bundy is a horrible mom. Because she does nothing. She doesn't cook, she doesn't clean, she doesn't do shit. there's no reason for her to leave that family because she doesn't do shit. She's taken care of. The kids, they're not quite old enough, but that being said, there's no reason for them to leave either. Al Bundy is the only one who provides for that family. There is no fucking reason for him to stay there. He's treated like garbage. They basically just immediately, when he comes home, takes all of his money, and he's treated like crap. But he stays because he does love his family, and that's why I put him on there as being a good dad.
I also don't like that show, so it's hard for me to see past that.
No, I understand that. I can understand that. So
it's like you with Roseanne. I'm like, ugh, I just can't.
Well, who's next on your list, Lainey?
My next dad is actually Hank Hill from King of the Hill.
Yep. Okay.
So, he's just I love that show in general, just because it's I felt like it was very realistic to what it was like growing up in Texas, especially the part of Texas that I grew up in. But he's just he's a good dad. He provides for his family. He loves Peggy. He loves Bobby, even though he doesn't understand Bobby. And he tries to impart all of that important, those dad lessons and stuff that he's supposed to impart on him because he's his dad. You know what I mean? So I feel like, he's not necessarily with the modern times, but I love Hank Hill. I think
you could have picked Dale.
No. No, but my dad was going to go as Dale for Halloween one year with his buddy, and I tried desperately to talk him out of it. I was like, that's just too real. How about you don't do that?
Well, Dale tried to guide his son, even though he had to know it wasn't his.
I don't know. Dale was pretty
retarded.
It was stupid.
Yeah. My next one on my list, like I said, we've been saying TV or movie or whatever. Yeah, mine's actually from a movie, and that is Henry Jones from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
We're doing movies too?
No. You can do movies as well, yes, sir. Yeah, Henry Jones. Just, he if you see him, whenever he was dealing with, at the beginning of the movie, when he was dealing with Indy, he was just very stern or whatever. But I have a feeling, because of Indy's spirit, he had to be stern, and he had to, be that, be the rock for his son. But especially at that very last part of the movie when he's talking him down, from letting go, from letting the chalice go, it's very obvious that he loves his son more than anything in the world. So yeah, he ended up on my list, and I just love that character. That is one of the greatest movie characters ever. That was so good, so good. Freaking love that movie.
It's a great movie.
Yes, it is. Chris, who's next on your list?
I'm picking this one because it reminds me the most of Ray as a dad and Ray as a guy in general, and how he views the world. Bob Parr from The Incredibles.
Oh, that's a great one.
That's pretty much us. I feel like that movie symbolizes us as a family and stuff like that. But Ray is Bob Parr. Ray is Mr. Incredible. He looks like him. He's built just like him. He sort of let himself go just a little bit like Mr. Incredible. Doesn't quite fit into the spandex he used to anymore. And just sort of hates and loves his job at the same time.
Aww.
And he takes care of us. So.
Awesome.
That's cute. I like that.
That is awesome. All right, Cyrus, who's next on your list?
Well, now that I know we can do movies, I will go with Mufasa from The Lion King.
Oh,
he almost made my list.
Just because
too soon.
It's James Earl Jones, and he whoops ass and teaches his son good shit.
Yeah, he does. Everything that the light touches, it's our kingdom.
Yeah. Fuck those elephant bones and them stupid hyenas.
Elephant graveyard.
Because we're lions, and they're not like us.
They live in the Shadowlands.
They're less than.
I may have seen that movie a couple of times.
In
little
fact,
bit.
they're kind of, the lions are kind of racist in that movie. Now that I kind of think. Maybe he's not a
That's
good
gotta
dad.
be it.
No, he's a good dad. Don't second guess this.
Great dad. He's a great dad, and you stop it right now.
Seek how?
You stop it right
He
now.
even came back from the dead to impart wisdom to his
Yes.
son. So there you go.
Don't forget who
Now
you
that I think about it.
are.
Yeah,
There's a lot
don't
of-
forget who you are. Better than everybody else.
Right.
Stop it.
I'm remembering. There's like
He
a lot
needed to go back and be the king that he was meant to be. I don't have time.
of Nazi
Playing the Lion
imagery
King.
in that
Enroll
movie.
with an iron fist.
Yeah.
Okay,
He's like the jungle
technically-
Hitler.
He is.
Technically, the
All of
movie
you.
is a play
We are
on.
the master race.
Oh
Stop
my
it.
god.
We will kill all the gazelles.
They're not racist against the hyenas. Scar's the one that walked over. Actually, there is some not. Never mind. We'll talk about this later.
Now you're into it.
No,
All
I
right,
just had a
Jay.
thought. Shut
All
up.
right, Jay, who's next on your list?
It's a show that none of you have probably seen. It is a British TV show.
Who are you talking to?
Okay.
It's called My Family.
Yeah.
I love that
No.
show. The father, Ben, is such a smart ass and such sometimes a dick, which reminds me of myself. But when it comes down to it, he imparts, good words of wisdom, does a lot for his kids, and really, at some points, breaks down and shows his vulnerable side of how he feels for his kids. And I mean, it's a great show and funny as shit. I mean, but
Oh, what's it called?
My Family.
My Family. Okay. We have to check that out sometime.
I mean, just like whenever he wrote his daughter, which is kind of I don't know, kind of whorish and, real. She has to have everything, all the fancy shit. She goes off to college and, he was bitching about her not writing him, and his wife is, you never write her, and yeah, I did. I wrote her a haiku. Enclosed as a check, you bleed me dry, stop it. And I mean, just that right there is pretty tame compared to what he said to her before. But I don't know, he's just in it when you see what he puts up with and what he still does to, better his kids. It's a good show.
Okay.
I like it.
Cool. Lady, who's
That
next
was a
on your
good pull.
list?
Next on my list, I don't know if anybody here actually watches the show, but it's Coach Eric Taylor from Friday Night Lights.
I've heard so much good stuff
Specifically
about that
the
show,
television
but I've
show,
never
not
watched
the movie. I love it. It's really good. Really well shot too. But I love Coach Taylor. He has a daughter, but he's also very much like a father figure to his team, which is really cool to watch. Like he doesn't back down. He stands up for what he feels is right, and really takes care of all of the members of that team like they're his own kids. And I love that. I think it's just a really, really good show. Plus, like, watching him and his wife on the show, Tammy Taylor, together, it's pretty awesome. So, yeah, he's just kind of just everything that you would want in a dad. He's very, very kind, but he's stern, and he's all about, we do what's right, whether we win or lose. The whole clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose thing. So, yeah, I love it. If you haven't watched it, you definitely should go watch Friday Night Lights. It's amazing. So,
Like I said, I've heard tons of good stuff about it.
it's all about.
Never
I mean,
watched
it's not all about football, but it's. I mean, that's obviously the Friday Night Lights, but it's really, really good. It's an awesome, awesome show.
Very cool. My next one, actually, I'm skipping one because I thought someone else might by chance take it. So I'll leave it open to them. But my next one is actually you won't recognize the name, but you'll probably recognize the movie that he's from, and that is Chris Gardner. And that was Will Smith's character in the movie The Pursuit of Happiness.
Oh my God.
Never watched it.
Very.
Why would you do this to me?
Very, very good movie.
Such a good movie.
Yeah, Will Smith was wonderful in that movie, and the amount of stuff that he, and of course it's based on a true story,
Yes.
but the amount of stuff that he went through and everything that he did and sacrificed to try to get a better life for him and his kid was just great. It was wonderful, and I loved it. It was a great movie. So yeah, Chris Gardner from The Pursuit of Happiness. So.
Great movie. That's a good pull.
Chris, who's the next one on your list?
Mac McGuff from Juno.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God!
He reminds me of my dad. My dad is this sarcastic, quick-witted guy who is, the way he deals with things, even if it's a massive, monumental thing, he just sort of has an even temper about it and just sort of says these really profound things that are just in one monotone little. When you think about it, you're like, damn, Dad, that's like really good advice.
So sweet. He's such a good dad.
Yeah, my dad's pretty awesome, but yeah, he reminds me most of my dad.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, Cyrus, who's next on your
movie.
Dr. Mindbender from G.I. Joe.
What?
Dr. Mindbender was very committed to making sure that his son Serpentor had all the best genetics and all the best attributes from the best possible candidates, so that he could give his offspring the best possible chance for success in life. He defended his offspring every chance he got, and just a very committed father.
I so want to argue this point with you, but I don't know if I can.
Being evil has nothing to do with being a bad father.
That's true.
That's true.
Okay. All right, Dr. Mindbender on the good list. Okay. That was out of left field. All righty. Jay, what did you got for us next, man?
I'm ready to start my bad list.
Okay, well, if you don't have anyone else on your good list, we'll just kind of wrap up anyone else that has it, and then we'll hit that, okay?
Yeah, I have no more good ones.
All right, cool. Tell you what, we'll just go ahead and rifle through the young ones that might be left. Lainey, do you have anyone else left on your good list?
I do. Sheriff Andy Taylor from the Andy Griffith Show.
Good call.
You have to be a good dad to deal with Opie. He's the friggin' worst. Hated that kid.
Is it because he is a ginger?
No, I love gingers. I just hate Opie. God, he's such a brat. Like from the first episode all the way through. Just we get it. I hated him.
First the Fuhrer, Mufasa, and now Andy Taylor.
I love Andy Taylor.
Do you have anyone else on your list, Lainey?
Yeah, I had a couple other. Marlin from Finding Nemo.
I thought about him as well.
Hal from Malcolm in the Middle.
Yep.
And then Maurice, actually, from Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, yeah.
Belle's father. Mm-hmm. He's a really...
Oh.
He doesn't get a ton of screen time, but he's actually a really, really good dad,
Dad.
He goes to a lot of lengths to try to save his daughter.
One I did think of that was a good one, and I did not like the show. But, in hindsight, he was a good father figure, was Uncle Phil from Fresh Prince.
Yeah, that's what we were saying, yeah.
Yeah, I think he was a really good father figure.
Yeah.
So, he was there for Will when no one else was, and I love that.
Yeah, like his piece of shit dad in that one episode.
Yes, that was an intense episode, man. I'd like to point out that no one said Danny Tanner, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I had two more left on my list. One of them actually came to me as I was talking earlier, and that is Drake Mallard, but you may also know him as Darkwing Duck. Gosselin was technically not his kid, but he treated her as such and was just like, I'm your dad, and that's how it's going to be, and raised her and was a good dad.
Dork.
And then the other one was, and I'm really surprised Cy or Jay did not mention this one, Brian Mills.
Yeah. I mean, he killed a lot of motherfuckers for
He
his daughter.
killed a lot of motherfuckers. Because he, by the way, if you don't know who I'm referring to, it is the father in the movie Taken.
Whatever.
Yeah, so we had Sarah Connor on last time as being a good mom. Brian Mills. I mean, granted, his family keeps getting taken, which is kind of bullshit. But
Yeah, what is he doing wrong that his family keeps?
You could say that in retrospect, having Linda Hamilton's Terminator character, Sarah Connor, Kyle Reese was a good father. How many times did he go back in time knowing he was going to die just to make sure that his son could live? I mean,
that was nice of him.
Yeah.
That's important.
I appreciate that about him.
I mean, he could eventually just be like, fuck this kid. I want to live, damn it.
Okay, well, so like I said, Brian Mills definitely goes on my list, because if you're going to go through all that shit for your family, even though at some point you got to look down, you got to sit them down and say, look, y'all ain't going anywhere. Y'all ain't going anywhere. Like, y'all fucking staying in the house. Don't go anywhere, because apparently y'all can't go anywhere without getting taken. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm getting you a safe room. Just stop.
Well, his wife ended up getting murdered, so, that was pretty bad.
Yeah, what the hell?
Chris, do you have anyone else on your list?
I have a few.
Okay.
Dill Pendergast from Easy A.
Oh, I love that whole family.
It's hilarious.
I love the thing with the adopted kid.
They're just a good family. I really liked them. John Winchester from Supernatural. Charles Ingalls from Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, I didn't really care for the show, but I can see.
I loved
he was
that
a good
show
dad.
when I was growing up. When I was growing up, I loved that show. Edark Stark from Game of Thrones.
Oh, too soon again.
Oh, yes.
Okay, Lion King was 22 years ago, ladies, so you're going to have to...
No, stop it. I'm not that old. Stop it.
And then Jack Walsh from Pretty in Pink.
Oh, that's another really good dad.
Yeah, he was a great dad.
He was a redeemable dad.
He was... He had a really big heart. I like that.
He was redeemed in the end. I feel like even with all the unemployment stuff and everything, like...
He loved her, right? Like, he loved
Andy. I love that movie.
I love Andy very much. And that's the point.
Exactly.
Well, there you go. Side, do you have anyone else on your good list? Cyrus? I wonder if we've lost Cyrus.
Marion!
His picture's still there.
His picture's still there, but I'm not hearing any audio. Wait a minute.
The lights are on, but nobody's
Can
home.
you hear me now?
We can hear you now.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Anyone else on your good list?
No, I'm okay.
All right, cool. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the worst dads. Cyrus, Lainey, who is the number one on your worst dad, TV, movie, whatever, /dads?
Okay, my number one is Tywin Lannister from Game of Thrones.
I had that.
Yeah, because he's just the
He's
fucking worst. Just awful. This is a terrible dad. Like, I can't even... I'm not going to say some of it because I don't know how much Eugene has seen. But,
Thank you.
just a really terrible dad. Just god-awful.
I don't know. He really loved his wife, and he
Whatever.
really is just trying to protect those people, his family.
Is he trying to protect his family, or is he
Shit.
trying to protect the name of his family?
Exactly.
What's he really doing? But yeah, Tywin Lannister is at the hardcore top of my list. Just a grade A jackass.
Someone's actually already mentioned my number one on the list, and the only reason he's number one on my list is just because this meme has come back up on Facebook again, and that is Lou Smith.
Yep.
Which, of course, was, like we said earlier, was Will Smith's dad, or the Fresh Prince's dad, however you want to put it, on that one episode of the Fresh Prince.
Yep.
Yeah, showed up, basically, jackass, epitome of what you would picture a deadbeat dad to be, and then was out, and that was it. And yeah, that's when sometimes you have to have those episodes of a comedy where shit gets real, and that was definitely one of those episodes. So, but yeah, he was number one on my list of worst TV movie whatever dad. So, Chris, who's number one on your list?
Lucius Malfoy.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Big dick.
Yes.
What was that?
God, yes.
Lucius Malfoy. He just was a horrible person in general, but the way he treated Draco and he didn't even like him. He didn't even like his own kid.
No. And pushing him into what he pushed him into, just
Yeah.
awful. Just awful, Dad.
Draco was a whiny little bitch.
Yes, but would he have been such a whiny little bitch if Lucius wasn't his father, I wonder?
Maybe
Probably.
a little less.
Probably a little bit, but still.
I don't know. He maybe not dialed up to that as high as he was. You know what I'm
Not
saying?
as hot, but there would still be a little bit of whininess there.
Yeah. So.
What show is this?
Harry Potter, Lucy.
Harry Potter.
I've never watched Harry Potter.
No, it's, well,
Have you read it?
have you read it?
No, I haven't read it, watched any of it.
All right, you don't read.
He's a bad guy in the Harry Potter series.
Yes, he is. Cyrus, who's a bad father in your opinion?
Okay, I've got a selection here, and it's going to be controversial. So
Oh, here we go.
All right.
please let me get through this without trying to murder me.
Well, you're only doing one.
I'm prepped and I'm ready.
All right, Tim the Toolman Taylor.
You get out right now. You get out right now.
Let me tell you why. First of all, Tim does not have any idea what he's doing.
Exactly.
He's constantly having accidents with power tools and promoting them. He's constantly getting into arguments with his wife. He has an occasionally chauvinistic attitude where he puts women down.
True, but I will let it slide.
He mocks those that are overweight. He has a juvenile attitude. When he does argue with his wife, he often immediately gives in to whatever she says without having a rational reason for it.
Well, that's normal in a marriage.
He doesn't even know how many brothers he has because he said it was 7. He said it was 5. He's named different brothers throughout the course of the show. Like he's a.
That could be the fault of his mother and her morals.
Sounds more to me like you just don't like the show.
Basically, he's I don't know, just a very shallow, accident-prone, chauvinistic, loudmouth jerk that everybody, for some reason, thinks is a good father because he makes money.
Well, I just thought he was a good father because he was really involved with his boys. But I see where you're coming from. I think you made a lot of really good points.
And, by the way, Tim Allen was arrested several times for drunk driving.
He was, but he went to rehab,
And
and I don't
cocaine.
hold that against him.
Oh, yeah, cocaine.
Stop it.
But he's a good guy. He's a good father.
Yeah, I don't care. He's still going on my good list. All right, so Jay, who's a bad father? Book, movie, TV, whatever.
Probably the ultimate bad father, Anakin Skywalker.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, so he was
Everybody was
on my list.
He killed the Emperor for his son.
Tell me why you put him on your list, because I struggled with this one. I'll be very honest with you.
Well, he basically became an evil cocksucker that tried to kill his wife and kids before they were even conceived. So that kind of puts him up there a little bit.
That was an accident.
Yeah. Okay, you tell yourself that. Then, basically, I know he was all burnt to shit and everything like that. Tried not to, I know, and the Emperor fucking told him they're dead, but he didn't try to, find out for himself, make sure this asshole wasn't lying, all this time, and then finally later on, he's just trying to constantly kill him.
You don't know the power of the dark side.
The reason why I put him on my bad list is because, yes, you can look at it and say, yes, he did eventually, finally come back to the light side and killed the Emperor to save Luke.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go through and look at all the other shit that he did, it's like, yeah, I mean, it's kind of that one thing. I don't know if it really redeems the fact that you tortured your daughter, you cut your son's hand off.
Hey, sometimes you
We're
gotta.
going to hand him over to the emperor.
Sometimes you gotta whip out Mr. Spats. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
Really? Really?
You gotta discipline the boy. You gotta make sure he understands what the family's all about, what his priorities are.
My God, I can't believe you just.
That's what a father's supposed to do: provide discipline and direction.
Not murder.
Yeah, maybe not.
He was a
removing your
genocidal
child
maniac.
limb. Yeah.
When did Darth Vader commit genocide?
When he blew up Alderaan.
He didn't blow up Alderaan. That was what's his name?
When he gave the orders to blow up Alderaan.
Darth Vader did not give the order to blow up Alderaan.
Oh God.
Y'all just want to blame him for everything.
Okay.
Lainey's head's gonna explode.
It's coming.
Well, I agree with Jay. I think he's on the bad list. But you can be the dissenting voice.
Yeah, you could argue both of those.
All right, Lainey, who's next on your list?
So next on my bad list is Harry Wormwood from Matilda.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, both of Matilda's parents are just shitty people.
Is that a TV show? Or
it's a book, and it's also a movie.
And who played him?
And a Broadway play. Actually, funnily enough, Danny DeVito played him, and he actually shows up a couple of times on my worst fathers list, which sucks because I like Danny DeVito a lot.
Oh yeah, I love Danny DeVito.
I find his voice weirdly soothing because in the movie Matilda, he narrates, and so I just can't help it. But yeah, he's a terrible dad in that movie. He just
That's fucked up.
Yeah, he doesn't. I know. Tell me about it. He doesn't give a shit about his daughter, not him or his wife. They basically pretend like she doesn't exist. They call her stupid. They tell her that she doesn't matter. They don't care about her education. They don't believe her. They don't appreciate the fact that she's incredibly gifted. None of it. He's just a terrible, terrible father. The nicest thing he ever does for her is let her put herself up for adoption. So...
Yeah, but they're oddly okay with it. They're like, okay.
I know, like literally she hands them the papers and she's like, here. And they're like, all right. And they turn her around, use her back to sign it. They sign it.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's a great book, great movie. I recommend it to anybody that hasn't read it or seen it. It's really funny too, so.
My next on my list is a father who originally was trying to do right, but just kind of like his actions let loose his dark side, and it ended up just eating him alive. And that is Walter White.
Yep.
Because originally, yes, he was sick. He was trying to provide for his family.
But not at the end, he wasn't.
And then he beat cancer. So at that point, you beat cancer. It's time to quit. It's time to stop doing the shit you're doing. Oh, wait a minute, that's right. You're addicted to being a drug lord, and you don't fucking care. It's not about providing for your family. It's about being number one. So yeah, Walter White was definitely on my list because I'm like I said, it was the whole series is watching the man's. You could say fall from grace, but it's actually more so his dark side that was always there, apparently, just finally finding its way out.
Some of the best character development ever written. So good.
So, yeah. So Walter White was on my list.
Terrible. All his kid wants is breakfast. God.
Yeah, I know, right? Chris, who's a bad father on your list?
Colonel Frank Fitz from American Beauty.
Oh, yes.
Pretty bad. It isn't, murder is, not so great, and beating up your son because you think he's gay when you are gay yourself and can't deal with it, and he's a pretty terrible person all around.
Pretty awful father.
Awful. He's an awful person.
Pretty just bad in general.
Just bad, horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
It's another great movie.
Good pull. Very good
pull.
pull.
That was a really good pull.
Sai, who's another bad father? I'm almost afraid to ask.
I'm going to need a minute.
Oh, no.
All right. Jay, who's next on your list?
I don't know if you guys have had this guy on your list or on your minds at all, but Wayne Zelinsky from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Oh my god!
He was terrible. I mean, he
He
developed
shrunk his kids.
I know, and then he blew the motherfuckers up, or the baby up later. I mean,
Yep. And then he shrunk them later.
I mean, he even shrunk them down and then scooped them up and threw them in the trash.
Friggin' Zelinsky.
I mean, that's pretty damn shitty. I mean,
you know what's funny though is he's a terrible dad. He's a very absent-minded father in those movies. He quit show business because I think his wife passed away to go take care of his kids.
Yeah.
So I was telling Christy about that. Like Christy, has never liked Rick Moranis.
I love Rick Moranis.
And I was like, why not? She's like, I've never cared for him. I'm like, well, you know why he quit show business? And she's like, no. I'm like, because his wife died of cancer, and he was like, fuck this, I'm going to raise my kids. And she's like, well, great, now I have to like him.
Prepare to feel really bad about yourself, Christy.
Yeah.
Yeah, asshole.
Yeah.
Great, now I have to like him.
You're a horrible person.
Well, if she ever listens to this episode, she'll pick that up. So
she don't listen to the show.
I'll make her.
God knows she don't listen to this show.
Oh, I'll make her.
All right. So, Sai, do you have someone else, or do we need to again move on?
No, I do.
All right, cool. Who you got?
William Stryker from the second X-Men movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's a damn good pull.
What a horrible father. Yeah, his kid turns out to be a mutant, and he uses his kid to try to kill all the mutants, including his own kid.
Yeah, what a D-bag.
Yeah.
It's just like Mufasa, just wanting to kill off people
Stop
he don't
it.
like.
What that douchebag Tim Taylor with his fucking race.
All right.
All right.
Sons
We got it. We got it.
All right, Lainey, who's next on your list?
All right, next on my list is Frank Reynolds from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
When you I've never watched the show, but he came up on several lists that I saw.
Yeah, because he's awful. He's just terrible people in general. So that's what the whole show is about. Is it's just, they're all awful. So, which is funny because in real life, Danny DeVito's a pretty cool guy.
Agreed.
But yeah, nice dude. But yes, that whole show, I so badly wanted to hate that stupid show. And then my friend made me watch it, and I was like, God damn it, this is really funny. So, but yeah, but Frank Reynolds is a terrible dad. He's just nonstop fuckery with his kids, and he's just the worst. Constantly putting them down, constantly just like fucking around. He's awful, banging whores, doing whatever he wants. So, but yeah, Frank Reynolds definitely close to the top of my list of worst TV dads of all time.
Alrighty. My next one on my list, once I put him on here, I immediately thought, oh my God, his wife should have been on our worst list as well, and that is George Bluth Sr.
Yep.
If you have never watched Arrested Development, number one, freaking go to Netflix and watch it right now because it is hilarious. But he is he's not just a horrible dad, he's just a horrible person. But most of the people on that show are anyway. But yeah, everyone is so self-centered on that show except for, his son, but it's
Buster?
just...
You mean Buster? Because I know you're not talking about his namesake son.
Oh, no, yeah. It's just, he's such a freaking idiot. I mean, I love that show to death, but the crap that they go through and they come up with is just ridiculous, and I love every bit of it. So, but yeah, George Bluth Sr. is a horrible dad, and like I said, his wife should have definitely been on our list of worst TV moms because as bad as he is, she's worse in my opinion.
Yeah, she made Buster do Mother Boy every year.
Yeah, so oof. All right,
a good show.
It is. Chris, who's another one on your list?
Okay, this is the last one I've got.
All right.
Homer Simpson.
I agree.
Really?
He is so inconsistent. He loves his kids one day and he's really there, and then he's just strangling them and disinterested in them and boozing it up at Moe's every night. Like the inconsistency is just.
I would say he does love his kids.
He does, but it's almost like he can't get his shit together to be a good person.
Agreed. And one of my favorite quotes of his was from the episode where Mr. Burns was trying to find an error, and like all these kids went in and like were like doing different things, like auditioning or whatever to basically be Mr. Burns' error.
Yeah.
And Marge looks at him and goes, Homer, the kids are feeling really down. Say something to him. And he looks at him and he goes, kids, you tried your best and failed miserably. The lesson is never try.
Yeah.
I love that quote, but that is a horrible thing to tell your kids.
Yeah. Yep.
So yes, I would have to agree that Homer Simpson is definitely not a good dad. I love him as a character, but he's not a good dad.
Oh yeah, no, as a character he's hilarious, but as a father he's absolute shit.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
All right, Cyrus, who's next on your list?
I don't have anybody else. I'm all right.
Okay. Jay, anyone else on your list?
Yeah.
All right.
Dr. Evil.
Oh my God, that's a great poll.
Oh
actually.
my God, I didn't even think about that one.
I mean, yeah, he tries, at times, give me a hug, come on, let's go. He wants, he kind of wants to show affection to his son, and
But then
kind of
once he
cares.
gets a clone, he's like, well, fuck you, Scott, I'm not a clone.
Yeah.
I had him liquidated, you little shit. I mean, yeah, it's just kind of kill the little bastard to see if I care. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, he's still kind of, pretty much a dick, but
I agree. No, that's a great poll, actually. I didn't even think about that. Dr. Evil is definitely not a good dad. Kind of in the name.
Those movies. Oh my God.
All right, Lainey. Since several people have actually wrapped up their list, who else is on your list? Just kind of run
This
through them.
is actually my very last one.
Okay.
Because y'all actually named a lot of the ones that I had. My last one is Peter Griffin from Family Guy.
He's on my
he's
list, too.
he's a great father. What do you
He's
think
a
of that?
horrible
father.
fucking father.
He's a terrible father on a terrible show that is dying a very slow death. So
That's a great show.
He
It's a
cannot
terrible show.
remember Meg's name,
yeah.
let alone that he even has Meg.
Did he like
Number
shove
one.
her face into his butt and like fart on it? Yeah, like
I've done that. I mean,
okay. Well, I hate that show, and I really can't stand Peter Griffin. He's a terrible, terrible father. He's constantly belittling everyone, has a terrible laugh, allows
An absolute
Quagmire
moron.
into his house around his children. So yeah, just an awful, awful father.
that's who I model my fathering after. What is-
Of
Sorry.
course. I actually I had 3 left, and he was definitely on the list. I've got 2 more, and I really thought either Jay or Cy would have pulled this one. Jack Torrance. From The
The
Shining.
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah, trying to kill your wife and your kid. Now, granted, he was possessed, but the possession basically just enhanced what was already there. So, but yeah, Jack Torrance is not so good a father. Not so good a husband. And then the last one on my list was, and I had to kind of debate this one, but after looking at the facts, I had to definitely put him on there, and that's Frank Costanza.
Yeah.
Now, granted, his son is an idiot. He's an idiot, but he constantly yells. He's just like, he's constantly getting in other people's face about everything. I love him as a character. He's an awesome character. But yeah, I had to put him on my list because I'm like, if that was my dad, I would probably have shot myself. Yeah, just definitely not a father that I would have enjoyed having. Cyrus, do you have anyone else on your list?
No, I'm good.
All right, cool.
How about Lester Burnham,
Lester Burnham.
American Beauty? Kevin
There's
Spacey's
a
character.
lot of like back and forth about him as a dad, but I agree. I don't think he was a very good dad.
I mean, he constantly tried to fuck her best friend. That
Yeah.
I believe was underage, wasn't she?
Yeah. He was underage.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, and I mean, he was a creepy son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would count. So.
And Thanos from Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean,
Oh my God, yes, that's a great pool. Yeah.
Seriously.
Here, let me put my daughters against each other. So.
Why
Yeah.
not?
Yeah.
All right, girls.
and
Fight
pretty
for my
much, if you
adoration.
fail me, I'm gonna kill you when you come back.
Yup.
Yeah. Good pull. That's actually a really good pull.
It's a really good pull.
Okay, well, I guess that's pretty much our list of best and worst TV/movies, whatever dads. So let's go ahead and move on into our picks and pans for the week. Would anyone like to go first?
I can.
All right, what you got, Lainey?
I got something very, very specific, so if no one knows what I'm talking about, it's totally fine.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't think you're going to. That's okay. Shanghai Disneyland opened this week. It's been very, very exciting. I have been seeing lots of pictures and video.
Oh, is that the one with the alligator?
Stop it. Too soon. Too soon. But yeah, it's been really exciting. I've been trying to keep up with it as much as I can and see what's going on and read some of the reviews. A lot of mixed reviews, actually, which has been very interesting considering how much time and money went into the park. But I have a very specific pan. A lot of the stuff that I've seen looked really great. But I was flipping through my Instagram feed the other day, and I see this picture of all of these characters in front of the castle. Now, I don't know if this is for their castle show or if this was just a little, ceremony that they did when they dedicated the park. Either way, Prince Philip from Sleeping Beauty is in the park, as he always is, and he has a history of having one of the dumbest outfits in the history of all of the Disney princes. Not in the movie. In the movie, he looks great. But for some reason, whoever designed his costume for his actual living, breathing character decided to put this weird top hat hybrid thing on his head, and his costume is like magenta and black, which doesn't make any sense because that's not what color it is in the film, and it's just stupid. Now, everybody thought that we had finally fixed this problem because in one of the parades at my home resort at Walt Disney World, he looks great. They made him look a lot more realistic, like to the movie. He looks awesome. They finally got the hair right. Whatever. I'm looking at this picture, and there he is in that goddamn hat and that stupid outfit. And I just don't understand why we paid all of this money to build this stupid park if we were going to put this friggin' prince on the front and center stage in that fucking outfit. So that's my pan. I'm sure I'll have more as soon as I get more information on what's going on in that park. And I know it's really dumb and it's really specific, but that has been bugging the crap out of me all week.
They're not going to allow you in the way you talk about it.
I know. And that's kind of fine, because I'm never going to go to China anyway, I'm sure. But yeah, it just, God, he looks so stupid, and it just pisses me off, because he's a great prince, and they just make him look like a dummy. So I thought we had solved this problem, guys, but apparently we haven't.
No, what's weirder is the prince is Chinese for some reason.
He's not. They got a white face character, because they're all racist.
Oh, white face? That's kind of racist. Fucking.
Really?
Like use white paint? I mean,
no. You like those awesome Chappelle Show sketches? No.
Yeah.
Oh,
no.
God. Pardon me, I want to see that.
That movie, The Dead Presidents.
Look, it's just a show. It's just a costume. Nobody died, right? Nobody died.
Stop.
All right.
It's still going on. Stop.
All right, so I'm going to jump in with I've actually got two picks. One of them's kind of a semi-pick. The other one's just... Anyway, Christy and I finished watching 11/22/63 on Hulu. It is based off a Stephen King book, and it honestly is not only one of the best Stephen King books he's written in the last recent, several years. It may be some of his best work ever. It's definitely in his upper echelon of great books. He worked on it with his son, which is why he actually sticks the landing on it. And then we watched the show, and the show is like I didn't watch the second and third episode. Like Christy just was like really getting into it and was like I went ahead and watched the second, third episode. You'll have to go back and watch them. I said no, I've read the book. It's fine. Just gonna fill me in. And she starts talking about these characters, and I'm like, yeah, they're not in the book. Those characters are not in the book. They change a lot of stuff from the book. So I guess my somewhat pick for this is if you have no interest in reading the book, you just know you're not going to read the book, go ahead and watch the show. I think you'll still enjoy it. My wife did. I've read several other people who have not read the book. They seem to enjoy it as well. So if you have no interest in reading the book, watch the show. if you think you're actually going to read the book, don't bother with the show. The book is wonderful. 11/22/63 is a great, great book, and like I said, he does stick the landing on it. So, if you're worried about getting through another Stephen King book and getting to the end and going, really, don't worry, that's not going to happen.
I did watch the whole show.
You did.
Yeah.
What did you think?
I thought it was really good.
Yeah, the book was even better. We can talk about that offline. But my other pick, and this is just a flat out straight 100% pick. Voltron Legendary Defender came out on Netflix, and it is awesome. It is a reboot from the original. If you don't remember anything about the original except for there being 5 lions and they form Voltron and they fight giant monsters, that's all you need to know. It's from the writers and showrunners of Avatar: The Last Airbender and The Legend of Korra, and if you've watched those shows, which they are wonderful shows as well, the humor in it is so that as an adult, you're gonna enjoy watching it with your kids, but you're also gonna enjoy the show yourself as well. The animation on it looks wonderful. It's just I cannot give this show enough high praise. I love this show. I've only got 2 episodes left. Definitely check out Voltron Legendary Defender on Netflix. Chris, pick or pan for the week?
I have 3 picks, if that's okay.
Wow. Okay, go ahead.
How dare you?
It's been a good week, and I'm going to talk about it.
All right.
So the first one is we've always let our kids dress themselves. We've always let them pick out their outfits, whatever, as long as it's weather appropriate and it's not completely dirty. They can wear it. So this week, Logan dressed herself, and I just looked at her. I'm like, oh my God, she's growing up. It just kind of caught me, and I took a picture of it. And she just looked it was very her, and it was very cute, and just how it's just she's growing up, and her outfits are starting to reflect that. So that was a good one for me. And then last night, my husband and I went to see a concert in Toronto. A band called I'm Mother Earth, they're a Canadian band. Anyways, they were celebrating the 20-year anniversary of one of their albums, and it was amazing because I knew all the songs and I was singing at the top of my lungs, and it was so much fun. And then today I was at a kind of like a backyard party, and my girlfriend has this hot tub, and she's about 4 or 5 drinks in. Like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. She's very drunk. And she just kind of and she opened up the hot tub, and she's like, come in, we have to go in the hot tub. So we all get in the hot tub, and then she's like, oh, we need to put bubbles in the hot tub. Because I've
Oh my God.
We have to do this. She starts yelling at her husband to go get bubbles. He knows it's going to happen whether he does this or not. So he goes and he gets soap. She would get it herself. He didn't do it. He gets her the dish soap. She proceeds to stand on one of the seats in the hot tub and just unload the dish soap into the hot tub.
Oh God.
It's amazing. It was so cool. The bubbles started flowing, like immediately. It's spilling over the side. It was great. So yeah, and then there's pictures of it with all of us, like you just see our eyes and like the top of our heads because all these bubbles. It was fantastic.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's it.
I love that.
Very cool. Well, it sounds like you had a good week. That's awesome.
I had a great week.
Awesome.
Makes me happy.
Cyrus, pick or pan for the week?
I would like to pick Amazon.com.
I wonder why.
Well, by the time this show comes out, I guess everybody will know. So I'm gonna go work for them. So
Yay!
Woo!
yeah, I haven't changed jobs in 6 years, so this will be interesting.
Very cool. Very
That's
cool.
really
Very happy
exciting.
for you, sir.
Thank you.
Very cool. Jay, pick or pan for the week?
It wasn't this week. It was last week. But since I wasn't on the show last week, the new Ninja Turtles movie.
So you enjoyed it?
Yeah, I actually did. I mean,
Go Ninja, go Ninja, go.
Go.
It was-
Go.
it was better than the first one. It just had a feeling more of the cartoon with Bebop and Rocksteady and Krang, and I mean, just being goofy with some stupid ass jokes and shit in there. I mean, could have done without whatever the fuck his name is, Medea. But
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
yeah, Tyler Perry.
Yeah.
He just played a stupid ass character, but I just hate anything he's in, really.
That's acceptable. That's a normal reaction to have to Tyler Perry.
Yep, same here.
Yeah, so I mean, he could have got a piece of shit with big goofy teeth and would have done about as good as an acting job as he did.
Well, okay.
But other than that, yeah, that was a pretty good movie.
Very cool. Yeah, I'm thinking either this week or next week I may try to go see it. So because I'm planning on a movie day and just like literally sitting at the theater all day and just watching a bunch of stuff that I haven't seen. So and it's on the to-do list if I can squeeze it in. So very cool.
And of course, X-Men: Age of Apocalypse. I've watched that since the last time I was on.
Yeah, that's on my to-do list as well. So that's definitely on my
Sounds
to-do list as
busy.
well.
Did he defeat the Power Rangers in that movie? I don't remember how.
Yeah, when the Green Ranger came out there and started kicking ass, it was kind of weird, but fitting.
Dummies. Can I add a quick pick that I totally forgot about because it happened last week, but I wasn't on the show?
Okay.
I actually got to go and see Weezer last week with a friend of mine.
Oh.
Yeah, Parker and I actually went and watched Weezer last week in Houston. It was actually the very first date of their new tour this summer, and it was just really, really good. Like I've always heard that they've always put on a really good show, and they're not one of those like bands that refuses to play their hits or whatever. So they played a really good mix of their older stuff and a lot of their new stuff that is actually really, really good. I've listened to their new album and it's awesome. They're just a really, really good tour. I was concerned that I would be bored like the whole first half of the concert because Panic at the Disco was going with them, and that's not really my scene, but even that was pretty good. Like the lead singer of their band is actually really, really talented as a vocalist, and so, but overall, just like a really, really good tour. So if it's coming your way, I suggest you go see it. We just bought cheapo lawn tickets and had a really good time. So Rivers Cuomo still got it, man. It was awesome.
I need to get my concert tickets.
It was so good. I loved it. But yeah, so if Weezer's coming to a town near you, definitely go check it out.
Well, very cool.
It's worth it.
If you would, please make sure to go to iTunes or Stitcher. There you can leave us a 5-star review. You can also write a review. Don't worry about that. No one reads it except for me. Instead, in that space, why don't you leave us a list of your best and worst TV movie dads? Is there someone we forgot? Is there someone... Do you have a debate as to whether or not you think Tim Allen or Tim the Toolman Taylor should be on the good or the bad list? What about Darth Vader? Which list does he end up on yours?
What about
Mufasa?
Mufasa?
Wrong.
You can also go to Twitter or Facebook or our website and leave us an opening question. Remember, it has to be an either-or question, but we'd love to get them. And then, of course, we will be at a couple of different things coming up on July 30th and 31st at Classic Game Fest in Austin, Texas. It'll be me and Lainey and hopefully Cyrus. We'll see how this new thing, how his new job goes. And then August 19th through the 21st, we'll be at Geek Fest here in Central Texas. And once again, it should be me, Lainey, and Cy. And I think Rudy will be joining us for that one. So if you're in the Central Texas area, please come by and say hello. We'd love to meet you. And then, of course, you can always check out the website at Epically Geeky on Facebook and Twitter, and then epicallygeeky.com. Where can we find you on the internet, Cyrus Martin?
Videogamevirus.com, or, of course, YouTube. You just look me up. Look for the most nasty, hateful videos ever, and that's usually me.
Goodness.
Is Game Rambling going on tomorrow?
Yes, Game Rambling, 5 p.m. We talk about games. We just had E3, so there's lots of news to talk about. Games were shown off, including the new Zelda. And, of course, there's a lot of rumors about what's going on with the new game system. So, yeah, lots to talk about.
Yeah, I'll definitely. I have not watched last week's episode yet, but I'm definitely gonna have to watch this one because I really haven't kept up with anything going on with E3, and I'm like, oh, never mind. I'll just let them tell me about it. So, Jay, where can we find you on the internet?
Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. places like that.
And how would they find you?
By my name.
Oh my god.
JRed1OMA, right? Yep, that's it. All right. Chris, where can we find you on the internet?
On Instagram at Lake Life Mama, and my blog that I sometimes post to at theimpostersyndrome.wordpress.com.
Very cool. Lainey, where can we find you on the internet?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at It's Elaine Bird.
And if you want to follow my wacky adventures, you can find me at Optimus Gene on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And we've started posting pictures of Lainey's Proton Pack. It is in the works. We've got about 25 days, and I may actually I take that back. By next week's episode, I will hopefully definitely have another event to announce. So, but I don't want to say anything too soon. So we'll see how that goes. For everyone on the show and on the site, have a good night.